Welcome to the NCEP. Hi, my name is Mike DeMora, and I'm the founder of the National College of Exercise Professionals. In the 22 years that we've been in existence, one of the questions I get all the time is, why me? I get, why do you teach the way that you do? Why should anybody listen to you? Who are you? Why does this make sense? So I thought I'd take a minute in this introduction and let you know a little bit about me and how things occurred and how we got here. So I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. Both my parents were teachers. My father was an immigrant from Sicily, and he knew the value of hard work. Well, my father got a full ride scholarship to the Ohio State University so that he could wrestle and play football. Now, my pop's only about 5'5", weighs about 160 pounds, 165 pounds. So he was a strong son of a gun, right? And he would always tell me about real strength. If you really want to be good in sports, you got to have real strength. I kept asking him, what does that mean? He goes, real strength. Well, one day, I was about 10, 11 years old, and I was looking through my muscle magazines and all this stuff, and I said, hey, Pop, I need to get a set of weights. You know, the old school weights where they have like concrete or sand in the side of them, and they're wrapped in plastic, and you try whatever. So anyway, I asked him, I said, Pop, I need a set of weights. And he said, no, you don't need weights. You don't need weights. It won't really get you strong. I tried to explain why. It didn't make sense to me. So anyway, I got a set of weights for that Christmas, and I lifted weights all the time. I mean, I lifted weights all the time. Anytime anybody else was out, going out, doing these things, I would go home and lift weights. I got to be pretty strong. In fact, in my senior year in high school, I was able to bench press over 400 pounds. But I didn't really think I wanted to go to college. But as I said, both my parents were teachers. So as teachers, they found ways of showing me things that they didn't have to use a lot of words. They just showed me. What does that mean? Well, Pop knew some people when he got me a job digging ditches in Cleveland, Ohio. I worked on the street and sewer department. What that means is I laid blacktop. I use one of those jackhammers, all day long. And you know what? Didn't take long before I decided, you know what? I do want to go to college. I want a different type of life. No offense to anyone who does those things. I know it's very, very important. We all drive on our streets. It's very important, but I felt like I had a higher calling. I felt like I could do more. And so although I didn't really want to go to school, I loved playing football. And I was offered a scholarship to go play football. So I'll never forget my first day there in training camp. And they lined all of freshmen up. And they said, okay, well, we want to see how strong you are. So we're going to all have you do the bench press. So I shined. I thought this was great. So we put on 315 pounds, and I did it 10 or 12 times. The coaches were like, wow, he is really, really strong. Well, right behind me was a guy named Billy Joe Jim Bob. It's not necessarily his name, but you understand, he was a country boy. And old Billy Joe, he got on the bench, and he's like, I ain't never done this before. Now look, I'm not making fun of him. I'm just telling you, he said he never bench pressed before. So we put on the least amount possible. We put on 135 pounds. He got down. He struggled with it, tried to do 135 pounds, pushed up barely one time and said, I don't get this. I don't understand. Coach was just, oh my gosh, what are we doing? What do we do? What do we give this kid a scholarship for? Well, fast forward a couple of days, we got our helmets on, we got our full pads on or whatever, and the coach thought he was going to do something funny. And this is what changed my life. He put us up against one another. He said, let's put the strongest freshman against the weakest freshman. Little did he know it was opposite than he thought. So we were in this drill called the hamburger drill, which means one guy's on one side, one guy's on the other, and there's a running back behind one, and you're supposed to slam into the guy and then get rid of him and then tackle the running back. Okay, so there I am against Jimmy Joe, and bam! I'm looking up at him and wondering what just happened. I've never been hit that hard. I've never felt that before in my life. What just happened? Then he has the nerve to come down and lift his hand and help me up. He helped me up. Here I am, the strongest freshman, thinking I'm the man, and this guy just knocked me on my ass. I think, what just happened? So as we're walking back of the line, I said, dude, where'd you get so strong? And I'll never forget. He says, I ain't very strong. You're the one who's strong. You saw how weak I am. I was going to ask you how I get strong. I said, well, dude, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do all day? He said, I bale hay. I said, bale hay? What is that? He said, I work on a farm. I bale hay. I said, wow, I think I need to bale hay. So on our next break, he took me home to the farm. And I will tell you, that was work. It changed my life. We did more work before breakfast than I've ever done in my life, even digging ditches, even working on the street and sewer department. It was unbelievable. And I thought about, what did we do all day? Well, he lived on a horse farm. So what we did was we mucked stalls all day long. Mucked stalls. If you don't know what that means, it means basically churn all the hay and get out all the crap, because the horse craps down on the, inside the hay, and you got to clean it each day. So then we take these big bales of hay and grab them and pick them up and slam them over here and put them up in the truck and load them from the truck. Load them from the truck and bring them down and bring them into the farm and do all this kind of stuff, just big. And all of a sudden I thought, wait a minute. Here I am standing on 2 feet. I'm grabbing these things. I'm picking them up. And I started thinking, well, you know what? I was a linebacker in football, and I started thinking, well, okay, I'm down in my stance. I come here like this. I attack. I grab the guy. I thought, that seems to be a lot like baling hay or picking up hay. So for the next couple of summers, I went home with Billy Joe and I worked on the farm. And I'm going to tell you, I never benched press as much as I did when I was a freshman, but I certainly played football better. And it changed my life. So after playing football, I became a strength and conditioning coach, Division I college. I was the youngest strength and conditioning coach in Division I. And I started to try to apply these techniques to the other football players. But the head coach would pull me over and say, how many people can bench press 400 pounds on my team? I said, well, not too many. We don't really focus on that. He says, that's not right. We need to bench press 400 pounds. We need to be the strongest team. I said, coach, that's not strength. It's not real strength. And I was just like my dad. I was trying to tell him, that's not real strength. It doesn't really matter on the football field. So he said, well, explain it to me. I said, well, look, I've always been taught that when you're playing football, if you're on your back, you've done something wrong. And he thought that was funny. I said, well, coach, when you're bench pressing, you're lying down and you're pushing weight up past you, but your entire body from your head down to your butt is completely supported. But when we play football, we're on our feet. And when we're on our feet, nothing is supporting our whole body. We have to explode from our feet, and the only thing giving us stability is our feet. So why would we lay down and do bench press? Well, we thought about it for a minute. He says, yeah, that makes sense, but you know what? That's not the way we've done it for 20 years, 50 years, however long he was a coach. He says, I'm old school, sir. He says, if you want to do like that, we don't need you. So of course I went back to doing the type of strength and conditioning that he asked for. But it didn't make sense to me. So at the end of the year, I left and I came to California. And I had this thing in the idea that things need to change. I got a job at the sports club company, who was later bought out by Equinox, but at the time it was called the Sports Club Company. Now, because I was a strength and conditioning coach, because I went on and got a couple of master's degrees, because I stayed in school for a long time, they said, hey, why don't you be a manager for us? So I did. I became a manager for the Sports Club Company. And one of my jobs was taking all the new trainers and teaching them personal training. So what do you think I did? Well, I taught them this whole different philosophy, this whole different thought about functional training, about working out so that the body becomes better. Because we don't want to get stronger at being in the gym. We want to get stronger at real life. There should be an application. So I started teaching these trainers a different idea, a different style, a different thought. Some of them really took to it, and others said, this is ridiculous. This isn't what I signed up for. So at some point I just decided we're going to break off and create a whole educational system teaching functional training. And that's what the NCEP is. I hope you find that it's useful in what you do. I hope you continue with our system. And good luck watching the rest of the videos. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye now.